Welcome back to another video. So today is this video is basically like a recap of the last like 3 chapters of Dragon Ball Super that I've reviewed on my other channel, that stuff like that. So it got deleted and stuff like that, but I just want to give you a quick like understanding or introduction before like the video starts. So this is like from, I think this is the beginning of the superhero arc all the way until the start of the, not the superhero arc, I'm sorry, this is the beginning of the yeah, it was the superhero arc. It was the prologue before the superhero movie arc, and then it was the superhero arc, which is chapter 91. So it has I believe it's 88, 89, 90, and 91, I believe, or 89, 90, 91. So if you want to skip throughout the video, I'm gonna timestamps in the description, so if there's only a certain chapter you want to see, definitely you can do that and stuff like that. I hope you enjoy the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content like this, and hit that bell posting it consistently, and let me know what you think about Dragon Ball Super and the manga right now, what you're excited about, because I believe the new Dragon Ball Super chapter is dropping in a week or so. So I'm really excited, and I will be covering it. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Peace. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the new Dragon Ball Super chapter 89. So originally I wasn't planning on reviewing this chapter because I thought nothing really crazy was going to happen, but it might not be crazy to y'all, but it's hilarious to me, and we're going to get to that. But let me know, leave a like down below if you want to see more Dragon Ball Super chapter content. Even if nothing happens, I'll still cover it if you guys want me to, and leave a comment down below about what you want me to review and stuff like that, and what y'all think about the new chapter. So the chapter starts off with Trunks actually looking at the computer that they got from the lab in the last chapter, and we get to see the blueprints for Cell Max, which was very, very nice to see. When I first saw it, I thought I was tripping for a second. I was like, yo, how does like, is this take place before Dragon Ball Superhero? But I remember like, no, this takes place after Dragon Ball Superhero, because Hedo's out of jail and stuff like that, and he's like going around and like has his own like warehouse and stuff like that. Like this definitely takes place after Dragon Ball Superhero, and I thought it was really cool that we got to see like Cell Max, like hit the blueprints for it. It was just a little Easter egg. And we move on to see Bra. So we haven't seen Bra ever since she was born, but this is like the first time we're really getting to see her kind of like older, like not a baby. She's like a little like toddler or whatever, but already like they even joke about it that Trunks, like the Trunks in this timeline isn't like the smartest guy or whatever. He's not like future Trunks, which future Trunks had to mature and is a lot more adult-like because of all the trauma and all the stuff that happens in the future. So it makes sense why these Trunks act totally different. And like Trunks right now acts like kid Trunks from the Buu Saga and Super, just older and stuff like that. And he's not as smart. Like in this series, one thing that we're learning is that all the Trunkses are like, back then they used to be really similar. Like we had GT Trunks, which GT Trunks is supposed to be like, he like goofs off a little bit, but he's still like smart. Like they talk about it a lot in GT that he's still very smart and definitely like part of being Bulma's kid, basically like one of the smart ones and one of the strong ones, taking after both like his father and his mother. But the reason that like he doesn't want to be like a CEO is that he wants to explore the world and not have to be stuck like at Capsule Corp. But this like Dragon Ball Super Trunks, he's more like a goofball. He's in love with Mai, and like he's more like, I just want to like goof around in high school and be a superhero. So he's Saiyaman, I believe Saiyaman X1 and stuff like that, and he's basically like a superhero, and that's what he wants to do. He's like motivated by Gohan, which I like to see, is that Gohan being Saiyaman back in the Buu Saga really inspired Goten and Trunks to also want to be superheroes, which I really, really like. And they also try to not like, they do it because they actually want to help people, and they don't really care about like, they want to make sure, they want to do it to help you, but they're not like exposing their identities and stuff like that. They're trying to like hide it and stuff like that so that their lives are still not like crazy or whatever. But there's a joke later on that kind of shows that Goten kind of doesn't care. But it was funny. But we're going to continue on. So while Bulma's there talking to Trunks and Bra's there trying to fix the computer that Trunks messed up, Bulma sends Mai to school with Trunks because like it would look suspicious if Mai is like the same age as Trunks at Capsule Corp and is not like also going to school, which y'all need to remember. Like if y'all don't remember, Pilaf Gang, they all wish to become younger. I don't remember if it was on accident or on purpose. And basically they work at Capsule Corp, and Bulma and everybody knows about how they're actually like, they accidentally wish to be younger or whatever. Bulma knows that like they're supposed to be older than they actually look. She doesn't want it to look suspicious that Mai's not going to school. So basically this is the way that Toyotaro basically forces like Mai to go to school with Trunks, and so we can have a little like hijinks, a little bit of hijinks. So Mai's there, she gets introduced to all of Trunks' friends and sits next to him and stuff like that. But then we get introduced to this character named Bata. I'm gonna say it that, I don't know if it's pronounced that way, but I like saying it that way. So we have Bata, which he's basically like a new kid that joined the same day as Mai, and Mai's already like suspicious of him. And Trunks is thinking like, oh, like, you like him, you got a crush on him. It's like some small hijinks. But what I want to talk about is the coolest moment I have seen in Dragon Ball in a minute. And it's dumb. You might not care about it. Yeah, like, but it's funny to me, and it's probably the funniest thing I've seen, is that we have Trunks playing basketball. If y'all don't know, I love basketball. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. It's one of my favorite things to watch, the NBA and stuff like that. And I was not expecting Dragon Ball to have a basketball moment. Like, one of the corniest things that I love is in manga or anime or shows that are not like basketball shows or basketball anime or stuff like that, to have basketball moments, like the basketball moment in Catwoman, the basketball moment in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now we have basketball in this Trunks arc. And I love seeing it, because I love seeing superpowered individuals play basketball with people that they're not supposed to be playing basketball with and just bodying. And we see Trunks playing basketball with one of his friends, and we see he got a mad jumper. I like seeing it. He doesn't even jump all the way off the ground. He does a one-legged jumper, and that was so nice to see. It was just, it's so stupid, but I love seeing it, and I'm glad Dragon Ball is doing it, because I just want to see. I just love seeing basketball in stuff that's not supposed to have basketball in it. And his Trunks friend even talks about how, like, why you doing so good today? And he's like, because I usually hold back, but you know, I gotta show off of mine, stuff like that. And while Trunks is like, after he hits that jumper and he gets the ball back, he sees Bata comes in, steals the ball, and Trunks is pissed. Trunks like, nah, I am not letting this man do me like that in front of mine. And he teleports in front of Bata, and while he's hitting that jumper, and Bata, like, while he's about to hit this jumper, decides to actually do a freaking layup. Like, he goes in and does a layup, and then it goes in, like, doing the fuck out of Trunks. That shit, oh my god, he did Trunks so dirty. Like, I gotta tell y'all this again. This man stole a ball from a Super Saiyan, went up, the Super Saiyan tried to block him. He does an underhanded layup over him, and it's kind of an and one, because he went under Trunks' arm and his arm kind of touched him, so it was an and one. And then Trunks is just in the air looking shook, and that was so funny. And the only thing that ruins it for me is that later on we learned that Bata is like an android. And that kind of made me sad, because I wish that he was just a normal human, because that would have been so funny if you got done by a normal nigga. Like, just, oh my god, it was so funny. It was the funniest thing of this chapter. I saw it on Twitter, like I wasn't rushing to read the chapter, and then I saw a panel of Trunks playing basketball, and I had to read it, and then I saw that, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, if I got done like that in front of especially like in front of my girl, like, bro, come on, man. That was funny. That was really, really funny. But because of the scene, Mai learns that Bata's basically like an android, because she's like looking at his eyes and can obviously tell that that man's an android. He literally has like camera eyes and stuff like that. And we find out that the one watching behind the camera is Dr. Hedo. And basically they're trying to find the dude that took the disc from Hedo's lab. And so Hedo sent Bata to the high school to try and find the person that stole the disc, and just knows that that person goes to the high school because because Hedo found the school badge, I believe, last chapter and stuff like that. So that's why he sent Bata there. And it's really, really funny. So basically there's an android here, and like he even talks in his ear and even like does all these like weird things with his eyes, but yet no one notices except Mai. And then Trunks doesn't notice until Mai tells him. So basically Mai's like, yo, like this guy is obviously an android. Like, literally look at the back of his neck. He literally has stitches on the back of his neck, and he has camera eyes. And Trunks is like, oh yeah, it's that, okay. He's basically like, oh yeah, it's a ghoul. And I'm like, bro, how did you, like, it's crazy that Mai was the one that figured that out before him, because they're basically trying to emphasize that Trunks is not the smart one in this book. Like, in this like Dragon Ball Super, he's different from like Dragon Ball the future Trunks, and he's different from like GT Trunks and stuff like that. But basically, like, Trunks is figuring out, because Bata keeps trying to like compromise him and reveal his identity. He's trying to figure out like, yo, like, Trunks got to be the one that's like the one that stole the disc, and I want him to expose himself so that I can actually like confirm it's him, so that I can beat him, because they don't know who it is still. but he thinks he's like 99% sure it's Trunks. And so the rest of the chapter, you see him trying to like, you see Bata try to like freaking like sabotage Trunks. Like he threw a football at him, and then Trunks knows the football's coming, so dodges it, and then gets hit by it the right way to where Bata gets hit by it. And then they also go to a cafeteria, and Bata tries to throw a whole like big portion of jumbo on freaking Trunks, and then Trunks just like weaves it and puts it in his jumbo, and he's like, yeah, like there's like, they go through a lot of hijinks and stuff like that. They even have a math off, which I don't understand what was gonna like reveal to Bata that like Trunks is the guy if he is so smart, but Bata ends up like getting the questions right while Trunks freaking bombs it. They have a little joke where like Dr. Heto's like actually like happy that like Trunks messed up the problem because they're just fumbling so bad on trying to figure out if Trunks is the Saiyaman, and says he needs a moral victory. I thought that was funny. We also see like Bata has another plan where he's gonna sabotage Trunks by throwing this big like wooden thing on him, and he's gonna like force him to dodge it. And while he's about to do that, he sees that Goten like throws a tennis ball under a car, and then realizes like, dang, I dropped my tennis ball. And so he it's actually a baseball. He drops it like a baseball. So he drops the baseball, and it's underneath the car, and he's like, damn, I can't reach it, I'll just pick up the car. And he didn't realize that Bata was like right behind him, so he just sees Goten, this 18-year-old, just pick up this giant car. And even the two girls that like, even like two other girls, like people that are part of like doing tennis, saw Goten do it, and he's just like, oh man, I messed up. And that shit made me like happy, because it was just like, that shit made me laugh, because Goten is the type of person that's like just gonna like do something like that. Like Goten's a lot more carefree than Trunks, so it was just funny to see that. And that basically like confirms to Bata that like, oh man, Goten's got to be the one that stole the disc. And so he transformed into his superhero identity called Beta 1, because you know Dr. Heto loves superheroes and superheroes, stuff like that, and wants all of his like androids to look like superheroes and stuff like that. And so he's about to fight Goten right now, and he starts charging at Goten, and Goten's just bobbing and weaving and not trying to attack him, because he's not trying to also like expose that like, yo, I'm also like super powered and stuff like that. Commands Goten to hand the disc, and even's like trying to hit him and stuff like that. And Goten's just dodging and dodging, and he's not trying to hit him, but he's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to swing on him. And Trunks realizes that like while Bata's like distracted, he goes and like switches into a superhero identity and comes back and like saves Goten from having to like expose himself. And he also gives like Goten like his costume to go change and stuff like that. And so Saiyaman 1, which is Trunks and Beta start like fighting and stuff like that. And Trunks is just like clearing Beta, like obviously like way stronger than this android, which was funny to see, because Dr. Heto made Gamma 1 and 2, which are arguably, like they said across the movie, that they're on the same strength as Goku and Vegeta at that point, and yet like he doesn't make as strong as androids for the other ones. I'm guessing because he doesn't have the materials to do it. But basically like Trunks and Beta are having a little fight and stuff like that, and Trunks also not trying to expose that he's Saiyaman to even Mai, which I thought was weird, that like he doesn't want to expose his identity to everyone, which I can understand a little bit, because I think they said in the last chapter or the chapter before that like they're trying to keep their superhero identity a secret from everybody, because they would get in trouble from like their mom, because Bulma doesn't want them doing stuff like that. And so that's why one of the reasons why they're trying to hide it to other people and stuff like that. But basically we're at the climax of the chapter, and Beta basically turns into like this combined machine with this robot called Beta 2, which is basically like a giant like transformer. And like he's about to blow up the school because he knows Trunks can like handle it. He keeps blowing up the school so that Trunks can get distracted and stuff like that. And he's just basically being a dickhead and stuff like that. And Trunks is like beating him up and stuff like that, and Mai ends up falling and tripping, and she ends up dropping the secret disc, and Beta sees that and grabs Mai to basically like capture her so that they can take the disc back to the warehouse. And Trunks wants to stop Beta but can't, because Beta is like throwing a bunch of missiles at the innocent children at the school, which is kind of crazy. Like, it was mad surprising when just like Beta just throws all these missiles at these children, and like if Trunks doesn't like protect them, like they'll literally die, which was like a crazy moment to me. And Mai is about to get taken away by Beta, and Goten finally shows up in like his Saiyaman costume and decides to hold on, like to beat basically Beta 2, while Trunks is like clearing out Beta 1, and he clears him out, beats him, like leaves him in his freaking underwear and saves Mai. And we have this like little moment where Mai recollects and sees like future Trunks, and it's kind of weird. I thought that was kind of weird, but anywho, it's like, it's weird. Okay, let me talk about it. It's weird because Mai in this story is supposed to be like an adult that turned into a child. This is the Mai from Dragon Ball, and it's weird that like they keep forcing this relationship between Trunks and Mai. In the future timeline, it was whatever, because Trunks was an adult at that time, and also like Mai was like old. She's an adult though. Like they're both consenting adults. But here it's kind of weird that like they're making Trunks from this timeline have a crush on this Mai, because like she's like way older than him, and he's literally like 16, 17, and it's kind of weird that they're trying to like ship them together. Like, even though she got turned into a child, that doesn't mean that like she has the mind of a child. It was just weird. It's just weird. I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it, but it's like weird that they keep doing this, but whatever. But they basically like save the day and stuff like that, and Mai is like basically like fantasizing or like saying like, oh my god, like that Saiyaman one was so cool, he reminded me of someone. And Trunks is like, oh, like he reminded you of someone? Oh, I'm about to like, he's about to tell her his identity so like she'll like him and stuff like that. And then Goten like stops Trunks from doing that, because remember, they're supposed to hide their identity, and they're literally by like a bunch of people. He was like, yo, you're about to reveal your identity to everybody. And basically the chapter ends with Beta going back to Hedo, and basically like they're about to work on another idea. One thing, this chapter was pretty good. I liked it. Like, I was mad surprised by the basketball. That's what made the chapter for me. I thought it was really, really funny. I think I said everything I wanted to say. This chapter was really funny. I liked seeing the basketball. I liked seeing Bata, whatever. Like, I thought it was really, really funny. And I like this slice of life stuff. It's pretty interesting. Like, I'm actually like excited to see what's happening next chapter. I want to see what characters we're gonna see, like who's like time skipped up, and like who we're gonna see and stuff like that. And I like this chapter a lot, and I'm mostly saying that because I like seeing the basketball. Just the basketball panel, the 3 basketball panels made me laugh so much. So that'd be it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe, want to see more content like this, and hit that bell button, post it consistently. And let me know when y'all want to talk about. Let me know what y'all want me to talk about. If y'all got any mangas I should check out, or what you think about the Dragon Ball Super chapter. But I'm gonna see you guys next time. Peace. Welcome back to another video. So today we are back for the end of this Dragon Ball Super arc, this mini pre-superhero arc before we get into the actual superhero retelling arc. This arc only lasted like a few chapters, like it didn't even feel that long, but today is the final chapter, which is chapter 90, and next month we will be getting into the superhero arc. So yes, I talked about it a few videos ago, but yes, this story, this little arc does take place before the superhero movie, and the next arc that's about to start will take place. Will retell the superhero arc. And so usually when they do that, the manga and the movie and stuff like that will have differences. We don't know the differences yet, but I expect some things to be different. Like, for example, I expect them to go into more detail about Gohan Beast and the Piccolo Awakening, but that's off topic. Let's talk about this chapter. This chapter wasn't really that crazy to me. I think I liked the last chapter a lot more. It was a lot more entertaining. But this chapter starts off with Krillin like still looking for the zombies and stuff like that, and he ends up finding them at a store doing work. So Hedo's been having these zombies like working jobs, like working retail jobs to raise money to afford all the mechanical parts he uses to fix the androids or make the androids. And I did small stuff in this arc that I really, really liked, that I thought were really cute. Like that, like seeing zombies working at a grocery store and no one having a problem with it, and them getting jobs. Like, think about it. You can't get a job unless you have an ID and a social security number. So that means that Hedo has not only IDs but social security cards for every single one of his zombies that he has them working. And I thought that was hilarious because, you know, Hedo is a scientific genius, so if he can create full-blown robots, he could definitely create some social security numbers and some fake IDs and stuff like that. Well, technically they already have IDs and social security, kind of, because they're zombies of people. So if he just gets their information, then technically he already has it. But I thought that was pretty funny. And then next, we also see a little cute thing that we get to see Goten riding Nimbus. So they didn't forget about Nimbus, guys. Nimbus is still a thing, and I thought it was really cute that we see Goten, who's like super innocent and just a chill dude, and you have to be innocent to ride on Nimbus. And he's just chilling, playing a little game console. I don't know if he's playing a Switch or a Game Boy or whatever, but that was really cute. And we keep on going to where Goten basically has to like ride Nimbus to the bus stop at school, and then ride on the bus stop to the school. He can't just fly to school and stuff like that. And he ends up talking to his friends and stuff like that. They're all talking about this dance that's gonna happen on the weekend. And then they get stopped while they're on the bus by another one of Hedo's androids called Beta 7. And like they're all talking about how basically they know that Goten's actually like Saiyaman. And his friends decide to like sneak him out so that he can change into Saiyaman. Like they don't tell him like, oh, go change to Saiyaman, but they let him out the car so that he can run off to escape the android. And they all say like it's funny how Saiyaman 2 always shows up right after Gohan steps away. And the one of Goten's other friends says true. So I'm assuming at this point they basically know that Goten is Saiyaman like X2. It's the worst kept secret in all of the show right now. But everyone's talking about this big dance that's gonna be happening, that's gonna be featuring this guy named the Clean God, which is basically like this superhero icon in the city that a lot of people are very, very excited to go. And Mai actually recommends to Trunks, like, would you go to the party with me? And Trunks is down because he's thinking that's like a little date or whatever. But it turns out that Mai wants to go to the dance because she notices that Dr. Hedo is probably going to go there. Because she did some research on Dr. Hedo and realized that when he was younger, he liked the Clean God and is probably going to go to that dance. And so she wants to go there to like catch him and stuff like that. And the reason why she says that she wants to like not be a damsel in distress and stuff like that. So she wants to like help save Hedo or stop Hedo and stuff like that. And so basically everything's leading up to where they're about to go to this dance. Even Mai ends up talking to Goten about it and telling him like, yo, let's go to the dance and stop Dr. Hedo and don't tell Trunks and stuff like that. I don't know why people in fiction always do that. Like, don't tell the person that's gonna find out anyway about what's happening. That always happens. But they also see this little android, which I thought was really cool. Like, we see like one of those little bug androids. I don't know if y'all remember that, but from the Cell Saga, when Dr. Gero was spying on people, he had those little bug androids and stuff like that. And it was really, really nice to see. I just like seeing like these little small callbacks that aren't like, they're not super crazy. Like, if you know, you know. And I kind of like that a lot. We get to the dance. Everyone is like heading to the dance. And I actually kind of like the drip. Like, so when they're going to the dance, right, Goten's there with this little, this like girl, one of his friends that really wanted to go for Trunks and stuff like that, and just going with Goten to like spy on Trunks and stuff like that. But we get to see Mai come in with like this shining armor, and Trunks come in with a white tux, and he was feeling himself with the white tux. If you saw him, like if you look at him, he's like looking at himself, feeling himself. He's like, yeah, I'm here on a date with Mai and stuff like that. We at the dance, and everyone's staring at them and stuff like that. But I think like everyone's staring at them because Mai is literally wearing a full-blown suit of armor. Like I was not expecting that. When I flipped the page and I saw that Mai was wearing a suit of armor, I was like, yo, this is funky. This is funny. It's like an armor dress and stuff like that. I think it looks pretty cool. But everyone's like chilling and stuff like that, dancing and stuff like that. But like Mai isn't still telling Trunks like why she's there and stuff like that. And they're looking for Dr. Hedo. And then Trunks decides to go up to the front of the party, basically the front of the concert, to see if the Clean God was there. And when he gets to the front, he's right next to Dr. Hedo. Like, he's right there. They're all like bonding, talking about, oh my god, I'm such a huge fan of Clean God. And even has like a Clean God shirt on. And they're all just talking like completely. They don't like what I was so confused that Hedo was just talking to Trunks about it, because Hedo thinks that Trunks is Saiyaman, and like he completely forgot about his beef with Trunks just because they both like Clean God and were both like talking about it. And I thought that was hilarious. I love that a lot. But then sadly it gets interrupted by Mai, who sees Dr. Hedo and pulls out a gun. I don't know if it's like a laser blaster or an actual firearm, but she pulls out a whole gun. I don't know what she was trying. I don't know if she was gonna shoot Hedo or something. But she pulled out a whole gun. That was crazy. But Beta 1 actually ends up showing up and stopping Mai from shooting the gun. And it's funny because like Beta's there too, but he's also there on a date with one of Goten and Trunks' friends as well. Like, I like this manga. I like this manga a lot. I just find this really, really funny. But Krillin shows up with the police and stuff like that. And then Dr. Hedo manages to get away. And Trunks, Krillin, and decide to meet up with Krillin to like stop Dr. Hedo. And then even Trunks and Mai have a little dialogue before that where they talk about how she knows that he's Saiyaman X, and how like I don't like this Trunks and Mai relationship. But basically like Trunks is like, yo, like I want to be the coolest person for you and stuff like that. Like, can I ask you out for real? Then Mai is like, that's what this is all about. Like, okay, if you stop Dr. Hedo, I'll go on a date with you. Just I don't care. Just go stop Hedo. And I just don't like this relationship. I don't like it a lot. I talked about it a little bit. I'm not gonna go into more detail. Maybe if y'all want a video on it, let me know. But I don't like this relationship. We're gonna keep going. So Trunks and Goten meet up with Krillin. They're all talking about how basically Dr. Hedo's part of the Red Ribbon Army, and like they're trying to stop him from like getting these plans. Like they're basically trying to stop his plans because right now on the computer his plans are to make Cell Max and stuff like that. And they're just trying to stop Dr. Hedo before he does that, but also trying to stop Dr. Hedo from getting in contact with the Red Ribbon Army. That's a tongue twister. Red Ribbon Army. Which, if you've seen Dragon Ball Superhero, you would know that at the beginning of that movie, the Red Ribbon Army recruits Dr. Hedo, and they basically like become a team to like stop like the Z fighters, and stuff like that. So they make it to the actual lab where Hedo's at, and they end up fighting a robot dinosaur. It's just like a mechanical dinosaur, because you know there's dinosaurs in Dragon Ball, and like they're actually like getting beaten pretty bad until they don't even go Super Saiyan at this point. They're just fighting him just to fight him, and they're letting it drag on a bit, you know, for story tension. And they're kind of getting beat up. Like they got some scruffs on them and stuff like that. The dinosaur actually doesn't take any damage at all from their normal attacks until Krillin finds his weak point, which is on the back of his neck, and it shoots a destructive disc at it, which like stuns it. And then Goten and Trunks finally decide to go Super Saiyan, and they just like basically like one-shot it, which also the double page spread of them one-shotting it is pretty cool. I think this is the first time the entire arc that we've seen Goten and Trunks go Super Saiyan. I really like their hair. I think if I'm remembering correctly, Trunks' hair definitely looks like his older version of his hair, and I think Goten's hair kind of looks like future Gohan's hair. I think that's what it's giving right now. They destroy the dinosaur. Dr. Hedo is defeated, and then they have this little like cute moment where Dr. Hedo's not really a bad guy. Dr. Hedo's just a dude that just has fun and makes things and likes superheroes and stuff like that. And then Dr. Hedo gets sentenced to jail, but like he doesn't get sentenced to more. He gets only 3 months because to be honest, all the bodies he took, there were bodies from the morgue, and he actually returns them back to their family. And they actually still have like consciousness, like they still have like their conscious and their memories from when they were like human and stuff like that. And since he like returned their bodies as people, like they're full-blown just zombies that can talk and have fun and be human and stuff like that to the families like beg the judge to give him a reduced sentence. So he only has to go there for 3 months, and then that's the other chapter, and that sets up for Dragon Ball Superhero the movie and the next arc, because I believe in the last movie they talk about how like he had a 3-month sentence and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the end of this little prequel arc. I was not expecting it to be this short, but it is over, surprisingly. Like I really liked the arc a lot. I thought it was really cute. I don't think I would rate it on like I don't know if I would rate it in my manga arcs tier list, because I think I would combine this with the superhero arc, because this like arc is like way too small to do that. Like if I remember correctly, I think it's only like 3 chapters. Like, is it like 3 chapters? Yeah, like it starts like 88, 89, and 90. It's only 3 chapters long. So it's not crazy long. I would combine it with the superhero arc. I want to see how that's gonna play out, because I personally don't like retellings of movies in the manga or in the anime, really, to be honest, unless they do something different. So I'm hoping that they add more stuff to make it unique, and it's just not like a clear like copy to copy of the movie. But I'm very excited to see how Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo are gonna look in manga form in Toyotaro's style. So I'm very, very excited about that. But I think that's everything I want to say about the chapter. Like I said, I'm not as excited for this chapter as I was for last chapter. Last chapter was super funny. Last chapter was probably my favorite Dragon Ball Super chapter. I've read it in a long time. But let me know what you guys think down below about this chapter. Let me know what you think down below about the new Dragon Ball Superhero chapter. Also, Dragon Ball Super is not going on a break for the next chapter. It's coming out on March 20th, I believe, again. So it's not taking a break, so it's going to keep on going. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Peace. Welcome back to the video. So today we are back to review the new Dragon Ball Super chapter 91. So it came out today, and I'm going to be going over the chapter. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content like this, and hit that bell to post it consistently. And also check out the other Dragon Ball Super chapter reviews that I've done already. So this chapter is kind of like I said, this is the new superhero arc, which is recovering it's covering over the movie that came out last year. So a lot of this arc is going to be retelling what happened in the movie, but also adding new things to spice it up to make it a little bit different. So I'm gonna go into more detail about stuff that was not shown in the movie and stuff that's added on to, but I'm still gonna be going off to the chapter, but like I'm gonna give more attention to the stuff that's brand new instead of just retreading everything that was already in the movie, which you can go see, which that movie was great. And so far I really like a lot of the changes that this new chapter, new arc are showing, but a lot of it is still the same old, so it's that Dragon Ball Super retailing type stuff. So let me stop talking, let's get into it. So the chapter once again starts off with Piccolo picking up Pan from school, which happens in the movie and stuff like that. They have the same conversations. It's like fun little banter, seeing Piccolo bond with Pan, and it's kind of funny that Piccolo is like the main one that has to always take care of the Goku family kids. Like at this point, like Piccolo is pretty much considered part of Gohan's family, and like I'm thinking like in other games like Dokkan with categories like Goku family, they should just put Piccolo on there at this point, the way that he has to watch always the Goku family children. We keep on going, and Piccolo is actually like at his house like training with Pan, and then even like Pan like basically snitches to Piccolo about how Trunks and Goten are the new Saiyamans that we saw from the last arc, Saiyaman X1 and X2 and stuff like that. We also get a moment where like Pan actually like tries to like catch a frog, and the frog like jumps off a cliff, and we see Pan just jump off the cliff with it and ends up actually like catching the frog and catching the branch, and showing that like she's not like afraid of anything, which you know like kids, that's how kids are. A lot of kids are just not afraid of anything. So this is like the stuff that they're adding that's new, because they don't show this 3-month pre-skip, because you know the movie takes place like in his time frame after Dr. Hedo gets out of jail, which if you remember at the end of last arc, Dr. Hedo got out of jail after 3 months of a sort of sentence after what he did with the zombies and the morgue and the whole like thing that happened last arc. So like this part that we're seeing right now wasn't in the movie, seeing this like little like Pan and Piccolo like bonding and stuff like that. We see them later on in the movie, but we don't see how like they first start to like really like bond more, and Piccolo like actually like takes Pan like under his wing. And like they even talk about it in like the next page where Piccolo is telling like Pan like he's gonna mold her into like a perfect little demon, basically. Like, you know how Piccolo is. Piccolo's just a fun dude that likes to like train people and stuff like that. And they have like some fun moments. Like I love seeing Piccolo interact with people, and just like he's one of my favorite characters. I think Piccolo's like arguably like one of my top 3 favorite characters, and I love seeing him in anything. So that's why I love superheroes so much, because I get to see Piccolo like the entire movie. But I love seeing like him bond with Pan, and you also see the difference in how Piccolo acts from when he trained Gohan in Dragon Ball Z to how he trains Pan now. Like Piccolo's still a hard trainer, but like he's a lot like nicer and softer than he used to be. So there's another thing we also get to see. We also get to see the police force, which we get to see a lot more in the manga, with the whole like police force that Krillin's a part of. And they have a whole like basically a big briefing on how they're gonna like stop the Red Ribbon Army, and how they need to like stop them from like unleashing a bioweapon, because they know about the whole Cell Max bioweapon that they saw on Dr. Hedo's disc and stuff like that. And so they're trying to stop the Red Ribbon Army before they unleash it, and basically they have a whole briefing, and they even show like on the board some stuff that you already know if you're like deep into Dragon Ball lore, about how the family tree works with Dr. Hedo, which is Dr. Gero, and then Vami, which is Android 21 from Dragon Ball Fighters, and then they gave birth to Jivo, which is Android 16, and then they also have another kid, which is Dr. Hedo's parents. And so it's nice to see that we also get to see like the big family tree for that family, and like also remembering and telling people that these are the characters' names. Android 16's real name is Jivo when he was a human, and then Android 21's real name is Vami when she was a human, and stuff like that. But they keep on going. They have a briefing. Basically, they're gonna stop the Red Ribbon Army, which is that's basically the red pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. And we get to see Carmine and Magenta talk, which we already saw in the movie that we don't really care about. And then we also get to see Dr. Hedo get out of jail, and he blows it up just like in the movie. Magenta and Hedo talk inside the car, whatever, like the same thing they did in the movie. And they even show like the little Hachimura, the little like hornet wasp, that like they explain everything, like how like the hornet wasp basically like Dr. Hedo's camera, like a little small android that can basically like kill people with his stinger, but also like has a camera and an audio, and basically can like spy on people. And it's the same thing for the movie, where basically like Dr. Hedo's basically talking to Magenta about how he knew that they were going to be looking for him. And they get inside the car and they start to have the conversation that they had in the movie about them working together. But this time it's different. In the movie, Krillin was not here. Krillin is here, like actually here, and is basically like on pursuit of like basically watching over them and trying to follow them back to the base, because that's what the police want. They want to follow Dr. Hedo and Magenta back to their base and basically stop them before the bioweapon is even hatched. So we see Krillin like on pursuit, and Krillin is dumb doing this, because he actually decides, instead of like standing on the top of the car and listening in on them, because he actually can hear them from the top of the car, that's what he does later on, he actually tries to spy on them from the side of the car, and like I don't know if Krillin remembers, like he has a big ass head and is literally like shown, like literally Dr. Hedo can literally see him like looking inside the car, hearing in on them. And remember, Dr. Hedo knows Krillin because Krillin is the officer that arrested him in the last arc, so he knows about Krillin. It was a dumb moment for me. I was kind of like wondering why Krillin even did that and why Toyotaro made Krillin did that. That was kind of dumb for me because later on in the chapter, he could listen in on the conversation on the top of the car, and like he could. I'm gonna keep going. Basically, Dr. Hedo sees Krillin and actually summons the wasp on him, and Krillin has a little like fight with the wasp. And remember, this wasp, if it stings you, like it can kill you like in one shot as a deadly poison. And so this fight actually has a little bit of like stakes because Krillin is worried about dying from the wasp, and also this is kind of like a heart. Like this also hurts Krillin a bit because he loses to this wasp. Like, so it's actually like an anti-feat kind of for Krillin, because Krillin actually, like, it looks like he's beating the wasp. He even shoots the wasp and it actually like goes down for the count. But then Dr. Hedo activates like a Super Saiyan form for the wasp where it goes like super and stuff like that. And it actually like attacks Krillin and actually knocks him out. Like it actually like kicks him into some rocks and actually knocks him out. I guess this wasp is like more powerful than like what I think it would be, because like it actually knocked out Krillin, which is crazy at this point in time because Krillin's like actually kind of strong. But I was actually surprised that happened, and then like basically Magenta and Dr. Hedo like finalized their deal about how Magenta is going to like produce and basically help with the production of all the androids, which is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and Cell Max and stuff like that, and is paying Dr. Hedo for it, but also like threatening him at the same time, saying like if you don't do it, I'm basically Carmine pulls out a gun and says I'm gonna shoot you. But even Dr. Hedo has this weird thing where he says that no bullets can affect him because he's like modified his skin and stuff like that. It's like it's the same stuff from the movie. The only thing that's really different is that Krillin is now in this scene, and Krillin is going to be a lot more involved in this arc, which I really like because, you know, he's a police officer, and it's kind of crazy that in the superhero movie, he doesn't show up until the end of the movie and kind of like doesn't really do his job as a police officer. And I like in the manga, they're like emphasizing more about how Krillin is a police officer and is currently working the Red Ribbon case, is on pursuit of the Red Ribbon Army. And I like seeing Krillin. I like seeing Piccolo, I like seeing Tien, I like seeing Yamcha, I like seeing these characters. So I'm glad that Krillin is more involved in the superhero arc in the manga. So we go back to Piccolo and Pan fighting and training and stuff like that. Pan even almost gets the upper hand on Piccolo, but Piccolo, like, you know, steps it up and like stops playing with her. And it's the same stuff for the movie where she's basically trying to learn how to fly. That's her goal, is that she wants to learn how to fly and control her energy. And like in the movie at the beginning of this part of the arc, she can't do it. She can't like fly or whatever. And so she actually like goes back to school, and Piccolo actually like sends her off, and it's like the same scene for the movie where Pan is able to like dash off and has superhuman speed, superhuman jumping and stuff like that, and is a 3-year-old that can literally travel the world on her own. She's built different. Pan is just built different. So we head on to the next part where Piccolo is actually like training, but then here's a phone call on his phone, which is still funny to me that Piccolo like has a phone, and it even has the case. The phone's case is the plushies that Videl and Gohan get him. So Videl calls Piccolo to tell him like, yo, can you pick up Pan? Piccolo grumbles and grumbles, and then Piccolo decides like, yo, I need to go talk to Gohan to give him a piece of my mind, because like Gohan's doing the same stuff that Goku was basically doing to Piccolo back in Z, where he's just passing his child next to him, basically passing his child and asking him to do favors for him, which is really funny. I like that. That runs in the family, kind of. And so we have the scene from the movie where Piccolo shows up to Gohan's house. There's like no differences. They even talk about the same Super Saiyan ants and stuff like that, and then Piccolo even like nags at Gohan and then tries to punch him, and then Gohan blocks it, and then Gohan actually gets punched in the stomach and puts on his like clothes, his weighted clothes back from Z. It's the same thing from the movie. There's nothing different at all. And even the end of the chapter is when Piccolo is still training and stuff like that, and then Gamma 2 shows up and actually like shoots the bullet at him, and it's like the exact same. Like it even shows like the little panel where it shows Piccolo looking at the blast that's coming to him, exactly just like in the movie. So that's pretty cool. I want to talk about Gamma 2. So Gamma 2 shows up, and that's basically like the end of the chapter where they have the whole conversation about how he's not King Piccolo anymore, and even Gamma 2 having the explosions, which I love Gamma 2. But I kind of am like distracted by the way he looks. It's probably because the way they colored it in the manga, but his face just looks weird. Well, compared to the movie, I shouldn't be comparing the manga to the movie, because I think the movie actually looks really, really good with the CGI and how Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 look, but his face just looks really weird. I don't know if it's just the color of how they darkened it, but his face looks like really scrunched up and not the way I want it to look. But I shouldn't be comparing it to the movie because the movie looks really good and this is the manga. But like mangas can look really good and coloring can look really good as well in black and white. So I was just thrown off by how Gamma 2 looked. But that was the end of the chapter, which we still gotta wait like another, we have to wait a month for the next chapter. But like, it's not, this chapter was kind of cool. I like that they showed like new stuff because that's the main thing that the manga does and the anime try to do when they retell stories, that they try to like add new stuff to make it more different from what it was earlier. Like in the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, Krillin was barely in it. They didn't show all this police stuff, and they actually show like more stuff where Pain and Piccolo were actually like training during those 3 months that Hedo was in jail and stuff like that. And I like seeing that. And we also get to see like that crew, that police debriefing that Krillin was at, where they basically talked about the androids and like Dr. Vami and Jivo and stuff like that. So that was cool to see. This chapter was long. I hope I summed it up faster than I thought it was. Like, it's a long chapter because basically this chapter is basically like the first like 30 minutes of the movie. I think it's 57 pages. No, it's 47 pages. So it's pretty long. But they basically, like, this chapter was trying to set everything up, and the way that it's going, I can see this arc ending in like maybe like 3 to 4 chapters, really, because this is like the first 30 minutes of the movie, I believe, and then the next chapter should probably end or begin. It should probably end with Pan getting captured, or maybe like it should end with Piccolo getting to the base. And then the third chapter could probably be when like it ends with like Gohan getting to the base fighting Gamma 1, and then the last chapter could probably be Cell Max. So it could go 3 to 5 chapters. Like, this is not going to be that long of an arc. So don't be like, if you're upset about this arc being a retelling arc and want to see more unique stuff, don't worry. This chapter should be over in like 3 months, which sounds crazy to say, but in manga, Dragon Ball Super time, that's not too long. That's not too bad. So, and also we'll also get to see how Gohan Beast looks. Hey, Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo. That's the main thing I want to see, is how Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo are going to look in the manga, and if they're going to give more context to Gohan Beast and explain more about the transformation and stuff like that. But that was the end of the chapter. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. Like I said, this is more like a retelling chapter, so it's not super crazy. But I did like some of the stuff that was in the chapter, like I said, like Krillin and stuff like that. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content, and hit that bell post consistently. And let me know down below what you think about the chapter, and what you think about the extra stuff they're adding, like the Krillin side story with the police and stuff like that. So, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace.